It's going to be a couple of part series, and I'll probably put them all together. I'm not good at video editing, but I'm going to give it a try. Anyway, a few years ago I tried to go vegetarian and it didn't work out for me, and I know all the stuff about, you know, blending your grains and beans and that, so you don't even need to mention that to me. It just didn't work out for me. However, I just think the general population eats way too much meat. And then another thing is we buy organic, and friends and family are like, well, you know, organic chickens are so expensive, organic meat's so expensive. And I tell them that I get a lot of meals out of a chicken, and I'm going to show you now the first in a series of when I roast a chicken. I generally get about 12 plates or bowls of dinner / soup out of one chicken. So you can have this, you know, you can do this and buy organic and get good free-range organic meat. And this is essentially my frugal chicken blog. So what I'm starting out with here now is a roast chicken dinner. And I've already named the vegetables. It's just what I have here is potato, carrot, turnip, cabbage, and turnip tops from my garden that I blanched and froze. And the potatoes are still here in the pot, and there's still some liquid from all the vegetables when they boil together in this pot. So most people know how to make gravy. I'm going to show you how to make gravy. I'm going to take the roast chicken out of the oven here now that's cooked. And I essentially just leave the drippings, everything. It's really not that much fat, and it's all flavor. If you don't use fat, then you're going to end up using things that are not really good for you for flavor. The chicken is almost cooked. It's been roasting in the oven. I'm going to lift the chicken out of the roasting pan, and I'm going to use the roasting pan to make the gravy. And I'm just going to put the chicken into a pie plate. So there we have a little onion, a little bit of oregano I put on the chicken to roast this. So she's going to go back in the oven for maybe, well, by the time I get everything done here, the chicken should be done, so it might be another 15 minutes. And I'll get my dirty oven mitt here. And here is the drippings in the pan. I leave everything in here and just put that on the stove top. Now what I'm going to do is turn the stove top on medium high. I'm going to drain off all the water from the vegetables. And it wasn't a whole lot of water with those vegetables. Make sure I get it all out of there. There we go. So I'm going to drain off all the water into the drippings. And then we're going to need another little bit of water in there. Put a little more water, about another cup of water. I want the roasting pan filled up about half full. I'm going to scrape all those drippings off the bottom here. And then what I have is some Celtic salt that I use all the time. I'm going to take a nice pinchful of that, probably a pinch and a half, and put it in the roasting pan there with the gravy, and some organic cracked pepper. And one other thing I'm going to use is oregano from my own garden. It gives a very savory. This is dried oregano that I had from my garden. It makes I actually like this better than savory. I use it in my stuffing if I'm stuffing the chicken, which I'm not doing today. So I like the taste of that. And it adds a savory flavor, and it has a lot of medicinal benefits. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, yeah? And while that's coming to a boil, what I have here that I'm going to thicken it with is kudzu root powder. You can use, this is organic from Mountain Rose Herbs. You can use cornstarch. You can use regular, well, if you use cornstarch, be sure it's organic. You don't want to have any GMOs in your nice organic gravy from your free-range chicken. So I just added about 3 tablespoons of kudzu starch and enough water to make a slurry, and I get all the lumps out just as you would if you were doing it with white flour. And when this comes to a boil here, and I don't use gravy browning or any of that because the onions and garlic all caramelize down to the bottom of the pan anyway. So as this is coming to a boil here, I'm going to just add a little more water, bring it up, top of 3 tablespoons of kudzu starch, and then bring your water up to the top of your cup and pour this in. And stir as you go. You don't want lumpy gravy. Keep stirring. And there you have a delicious, I'm going to taste that now for saltiness. I'll turn the heat off now. It was perfect. So there you have a delicious I'm going to remove from the heat. Have an organic chicken gravy, and I'm going to mash these potatoes with some organic butter. And I have some steamed carrots and turnip and cabbage and turnip tops. And a lovely roasted chicken in the oven. So I'll show you this all plated up, and usually what we do is I have a slice of breast, my husband has another slice of breast and a wing, and this goes with this cooked dinner, and then we'll have a good few meals out of this chicken. So here we have our dinners all plated up, and as you can see, we're big eaters, and what we have here is my husband has a chicken wing and a part of a chicken breast, and some, right now we're using, I usually use blackcurrant or my own partridge. We had some pomegranate jelly. So that's on the side plate here. Now we have cabbage, potato, carrot, turnip, beetroot, and turnip tops. And I have the same, except for I have the top slice of the breast with the skin because I like that. And the same jelly. And I have the same dinner plate full of food. And so far, this is just our first meal made from a roasted chicken and a pot. So I have all these veggies still left over and a good portion of a chicken left over, and I'll continue on with this video and post the next meal that I'm going to make out of this one chicken. No, my arm is in the way. Have a little bit of olive oil just warming up in the pan here. And spread that around and get that warmed up well. I'm just going to mash this really good. I still like to have a few chunks left in. You can see the turnip greens, they sort of stick into your masher. Just while I'm waiting for the oil to heat up there, get all those greens out of there. And just mix it all through. Okay, the oil's getting pretty hot there now. Turn it on medium. And I'm just going to take scoopfuls of this and make little hash cakes. You can just, you know, you don't have to make it into cakes. You can just fry it around in the pan if you don't have the time to just take some of the greens off of there. Four in the pan there now. I'm just going to flatten them out. And I still have enough left over here for a couple of more, or it can go in some soup. And I also have some leftover gravy that I put in the fridge. I'm going to take a couple teaspoons of that and warm that up to go over the cake. Maybe I'll have room in here to put another one or two. We'll probably want to have 3 each. So that's it. I'm going to let them brown and flip them over and plate them up, and I'll show you. So on the same chicken that I showed you in the last meal, and what we're going to have tonight is the leftover vegetables fried up into little veggie cakes with a bit of gravy. And just trying to get my camera off the tripod here. I'll take the tripod with me. Then I'm having some beets and a chicken thigh. And my husband's having some beets and a chicken drum. So we still have a good portion. We still have a good portion of this chicken left in here that having from this chicken. And actually, it's probably a little more in the second meal because I never even bothered to show you that I did 2 plates of salad with some chicken breast on them. Just a little bit of chicken breast used in a salad. In a tossed salad. So anyway, I'll come back and show you. Here's meal number 2 with the same chicken that we were using, and I have a thigh on my plate and 3 vegetable cakes that I fried up from the leftover veggies, and my husband has the drum and the same thing and a little bit of gravy on it. So this is another great meal, and we're still using the chicken. So this is aside from, like I said, I made some salad tossed salad with a little bit of chicken. Excuse me. This is plates number 3 and 4 using the same chicken. Okay, it's sandwich day today. We usually have a sprouted Ezekiel bread sandwich once a week on the weekend. And again, we're still using the same chicken. I have a nice chicken sandwich here for lunch. So this is plate 5 and 6. So the first 2 plates were the cooked dinner, and my husband had a partial breast and a wing, and I had a partial breast. And then meals number 2 and 3, my husband had a drum and I had a thigh. And now we each have part of the second breast on the chicken for a sandwich, and I'll continue on and show you how much further we can stretch this one organic chicken with meals 7 and 8 that'll be coming up this evening. Hi guys, this is meal 7, or plate number 7 and 8 that I'm going to make from the same chicken. And what I'm doing is just reheating the gravy that we had left over. And I have some green peas here. Let's see if you can see me. Yeah, and I have some green peas here, just frozen organic green peas. And this meal feels like you're eating junk food, but it's not. So I have some peeled and just julienne organic potatoes. Now, I don't recommend you peeling your potatoes if you have your own homegrown potatoes, but we're on to store-bought potatoes right now. So I had to peel them. They are organic, but they're just not a great quality here, so I peeled the peels off. Were a bit funny. So anyway, just drizzle them with some organic olive oil. And this is, I've mentioned it before, this is my everything spice. It's all organic. It has sesame seeds. Let me try to remember what's in this. There's cayenne, chili powder, sesame seeds, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, and turmeric. Yeah, so anyway, I have I'll put a link down below to my spices. And I really love sesame seeds because they're high in calcium, and they add a really crunchy, nutty flavor, and they make these oven baked fries really good. So I just take the leaf off there. There's a whole leaf in it. I put a good bit. Oh, I would say that's probably 4 tablespoons. And I'm just going to toss these around. Now this pan that I have is actually an old tin pan. It's black because it's been seasoned well. It's not non-stick. I don't recommend you cook anything using any non-stick surfaces like Teflon or anything like that. Try to get yourself some cast iron or real tin or stainless steel pans. So anyway, I have them all coated there now. And just, you know, don't have them too layered on top of each other too much because you want them all to get nice and crispy. And I have the oven preheating to 350, and they're going to go in for about 20 minutes. I'll let you know for sure. I don't usually time. I think I put the last like 3 minutes on broil. And with this, I'll have some chicken, gravy, fries, peas, and coleslaw. So I'm just going to show you now how I'll make the coleslaw. Okay, next we're going to make the coleslaw. And what I have here is, it's an organic mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar. And I'm just going to put, maybe a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in here. Now, if you're vegan and you want to try to make this mayonnaise, I've done it before. You can make the mayonnaise with, for mountain rose herbs, you can get organic lecithin. So you can use about the equal amount of an egg yolk, about a heaping tablespoon of lecithin, and try this. It doesn't get quite as thick and creamy, but you can make the mayonnaise vegan if you want. And I'm going to use sunflower oil today. You can use, if you're want some more omega-3s, you can use a flax oil. Make sure your flax oil is not rancid, and try to go with organic all the time. And or you can use a coconut oil. Just melt your coconut oil first if it's cold, and whatever's your favorite oil. My mother likes doing this with olive oil. I find olive oil is a little bit too strong, so I like the sunflower oil in mine. And then when it's all spun up and thick, I'm just going to add a pinch of organic onion powder, a pinch of organic cayenne, and a little tiny bit of mustard. And that's about it. You can add some honey or cane sugar if you like, but because I'm going to be putting some honey into the cabbage and carrots, I'm not going to bother to put it in the mayonnaise right now. But you can if you wanted to add a little bit. So I'm going to show you how this works here now. And it's going to be really loud, so I'm probably going to see if there's a way I can mute this noise out of here. Alright, so I'm going to start my egg yolk. And about a tablespoon of vinegar. I'm going to start that spinning on high. Sunflower oil at a time. Ooh, that was loud. So as you can see, I added in about 1/4 cup of oil. A nice thick mayonnaise there. So I'm just going to add the I'm going to add the spices in now and just give it another whirl. Take it out, and then I'm going to, might as well add the spices here now. So I'm just going to put in just literally mustard's almost empty. I'm just going to put in a squirt of mustard. Just a pinch of cayenne, and a heftier pinch of onion powder. And that's it. I'm just going to pulsate that first. And I'm going to take it out of the machine and show you how to make the coleslaw. Okay, so now what we have here again is the cabbage and carrot and onion. And to this, I'm going to add salt, a good bit of cracked black pepper, organic peppercorns, some mountain rose herbs. And because I didn't put any sugar in the mayonnaise, I'm going to add a nice bit of honey, I would say 1.5 tablespoons for sure, to the coleslaw. And look how creamy this mayonnaise turned out. This is like great mayonnaise. So this was about 1/4 cup of oil afterwards in total is what went into it. I think, I don't know if you could hear me when I was doing it. So I'm just going to take the spatula and just you don't want chunks of this. This honey is a creamed honey. You could have melted the honey first if you want, but I'm just going to try to incorporate that honey all the way through. Just turn that over. This is a load of coleslaw. This is going to be enough for not just tonight's supper, but a few different meals. It's good in the fridge for a couple of days because it got the mayonnaise, the fresh mayonnaise in it with the egg yolk. You know, you don't want to keep it more than a couple of days in the fridge. Okay, so all of the mayonnaise that I just made is going into that. There you go. Scrape that right out of there. And that's it. You just stir this around. Mayonnaise incorporated into it, and it tastes just like, you know, most of this is raw. It's cold pressed oil that I'm using, and a raw organic yolk, and it's just the apple cider vinegar and some spices and all of the raw veggies. So this is actually a very healthy, even though it tastes like junk, it's a very healthy thing to have with your meals. So that's it. I'm going to now plate up the fries and the peas and the coleslaw and the gravy and some more of that chicken that we've been still working on. And that's still not the end of it. There's still some more that I can do with this chicken. So this will be plates 8, and I'll show you those in a moment. Okay guys, here's meal 7 and 8 from that same chicken. And what my husband has is the remaining drum and wing, fries, coleslaw, and green peas, all organic. And what I have is the remaining chicken thigh and some green peas and coleslaw, and I just gotta taste one. Look at these. They are so crispy. I'm gonna have gravy on the fries. And I can't wait to eat it. And it's not over yet. We still have some breast left on this chicken and some bones, and still a few more meals left to make out of this one organic chicken. Okay, here's the final segment of my frugal chicken blog and how far you can stretch one organic chicken meals. This was I was boiling out the bones and the last part of the chicken breast that was left. Beautiful rich broth that I got from it this morning. And there's a good bit of chicken in here. I'm going to make a chicken noodle soup, which is going to be about 8 bowls for lunch and supper, 2 bowls each. However, again, we're big eaters, so if you looked at the portions that we had on our plates and that we're going to have these 8 bowls of soup, we're going to have 2 bowls each per meal. You can, if you want to just have one, you can really stretch this a lot farther. All in all, you could probably get 20 meals, 20 plates of and bowls of dinner out of one organic chicken. Now, I'll show you what I have left. Here's what's left of the chicken, just bones and skin essentially, and that can go in the compost, so you don't even need to throw that out either. Like bone meal is good for your compost, so it's very little as you can see, it's just a fistful of bones and skin, and we have this gorgeous rich broth. So I have the pan here. Let's set up my tripod for my chicken noodle soup. I have the pan here heating up, and I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in the pan here and saute my vegetables. First, I have 1/2 of a chopped onion and 2 cloves of chopped garlic. Get all that out. I'm just going to saute that around in the pan. And I have 4 stalks of celery and 2 carrots. Now I'm going to sprinkle that with a little bit of Celtic salt. Helps bring the juices out. 1 organic hot chili from Mountain Rose Herb over the vegetables. About a teaspoon. And I just want these vegetables to soften up. So that's pretty good there. They're softening up nicely. I'm going to let them probably for another minute or 2. But while I do that, I'm going to return my broth to a simmer. And what I'm going to be putting in my chicken noodle soup is these organic kamut pasta noodles. If you want to do it grain-free, go with wild rice. Wild rice is fantastic in it as well, and wild rice is a grass, actually, not a grain. Or you can do a mixture of white and wild rice if you don't mind, you know, if you want rice rather than noodles, or use whatever your favorite organic noodles are. These are a long noodle, so I will be cracking these up into pieces. I just have the noodles wilting in there. And these vegetables are all sauteed here now. So to make sure that I get all the spices off the pan, before I dump this into the pot, I'm just going to add 1 cup of water. And that'll cool that down and get all those lovely juices and spices off the pan. And then I will take this and dump it right into the soup pot. Okay, so when all of these vegetables and the noodles soften up, I'm just going to leave it on a low simmer for maybe half an hour. Let all the flavors infuse. I will put all this in a bowl and show you the final segment of this frugal chicken blog. Okay, so here's the last